What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap after apparently Fat Cat is struggling through nose flood over in the Seattle, Washington area. That's right. Flood alerts, folks. Flood alerts. The Seattle area, Renton area is being deluged with water. And of course, Phil was extremely concerned yesterday. Not really because of his wife, air quotes wife, but he was more concerned about the Doordash delivery. That's right. He was doing Feasting with the Pig, and Doordash was ignoring him. They were saying, nope, we can't deliver in your area because, of course, there's flooding, you idiot. But, of course, Phil doesn't care because he's a selfish pig, and all he cares about himself. So, he continued the rant all day, all afternoon. He did expose one little lie here, where he exposed that Cat's not living there, which is great, which we'll cover today on our podcast. And yeah, it was great. So let's see what Phil had to say on the daily rap. Let's see if he retcons the story yet again, or if he continues with the same nonsense. So let's get into it.
That entire dungeon and finished it. Okay. The problem was a monkey wrench was thrown into.
Okay. By the way, Phil. Christ, dude, why do I have to continue saying your music, your background music is way too loud? It's way too loud. When the background music is as loud as your voice, it's not background music. All it does is just muddle the vocals. And it's very difficult to understand or hear what you're saying because all you hear is just the beat of the background music. Lower your goddamn volume, Phil.
To our plans today. Originally, here was what we were supposed to do. Play Expedition 33 for about 3 hours. Then we were supposed to do DSP tries at Quiznos, which is actually the first time I was ever going to try Quiznos subs.
Yes, the autism was just the autism
However,
was interrupted.
Nature didn't agree with us. Near where I live, apparently a small dam or levee burst because we've been getting lots of rain recently, like more than usual, and apparently the water actually caused this thing to explode.
No, it didn't explode. It probably just cracked or overflowed, Phil. The other thing is you live in Seattle, brother. You live in the Washington area. You are considered a coastal state, okay? You actually have an inland that it's a waterway that comes in the Seattle area, and that floods, Phil. You guys have continuous problems with flooding, but because you're slightly elevated and you really don't get impacted by the flooding, you can care less. You can care less what happens to everything else. You're so insulated in your little world that all you care about is what happens in your, 1,400 square foot condo. And if it's not happening there, then it makes no difference. You're going to hear this guy get upset because DoorDash didn't take his order. Literally get upset. And he'll tell you that the damn area was deluged with water. The place was flooding. It literally took people hours just to drive 10 minutes. But all he cares about is the stupid DoorDash.
This means that our river level was way higher than it was supposed to, causing floods. I was okay because where I live, I'm elevated. I'm up at this top of this giant hill.
Because that's all you care about, Phil,
so
right?
Never would the flood ever affect me. It's all down in the valley. Well, sadly, my wife works down in the valley, and she was at work today and tried to get out, and she says every street was loaded with cars. All traffic was diverted because half the streets were closed. It was essentially a humongous nightmare today to drive around. So normally, Kat would get home around, I'd say, like 2:30 p.m. It was past 3 p.m. She still wasn't home. So obviously, I knew something was wrong, and I told everyone on the stream, what we basically need to do is just kind of wait. I can't really play the game because at any moment she could call me, she could text me. I want to be sure she's okay. She ended up getting home after 3 o'clock and basically said, yeah, I was just taking side streets. I was trying to use GPS. The GPS didn't know streets were closed, so it was a nightmare trying to get home. It was really bad. So we ended up losing maybe a half an hour of gameplay. It really wasn't that bad, and we still did get 3 hours of Clair Obscure in today. The problem was I couldn't do DSP tries it because everything would ended up being closed down. Like we tried to order food, and it was like, no, not available. There was no way to do it today. We're trying to follow the news on this to find out what's going on. Chances are, if this continues, we may not be able to do it tomorrow either. So it may not be till like Wednesday, Thursday that we get to do DSP tries it this week, which isn't the end of the world. But I know I hate promising something and not.
Okay, it's not the end of the world, Phil, but you spend your first 3 minutes talking about the stupid DoorDash and the stupid Feasting with the Pig, Phil. Really, brother? I mean, come on. You just see again, this stuff like this that makes me believe that Kat's gone. The divorce happened, or they're in the process of getting a divorce. And this nonsense where he was worried. He was worried Kat wasn't going to get home to pick up Jasper because he watches Jasper while she's working her part-time job. And the other thing is, Phil, you know that your area has been bombarded with rain for days. There have been flood warnings for days, right? Why didn't you just tell your wife, don't go to work? Don't go to work. Don't risk it. Don't risk, getting swept up in the water or whatever, your car getting hydroplaned or whatever. Don't risk it for a part-time job, making $8 an hour at wherever the hell you work at. But nope, she can't do that because, of course, she has to fund DSP's Doordash, WW Champions, and gin addiction. Because if she doesn't work those 12 hours a week, they probably can't even manage to pay their mortgage or whatever. That's how pathetically Phil is with financing and doing financial planning. That, the make or break for them is his wife working a 12-hour a week part-time job. But again, Phil, you notice he hasn't said anything about Kat and her car and what's going on. He mentioned, she was delayed, right? He's more worried about the DoorDash than he is his poor wife. Again, normal people that are married, air quotes married, they don't do this type of crap. They really don't do this type of crap. All right, they just don't. All right, it's only Phil that does this, which again just tells me, if you got divorce coin, make sure to either buy more or keep it or whatever, because divorce coin is to the moon, brother.
Not being able to deliver on it, and I apologize to everyone. Obviously, this wasn't in the cards. We had no clue this was going to happen. So there was no DSP Tries It today, but there are 3 hours of Expedition 33 live on DSP Gaming for you to check out when you get a chance. Now, tonight was my first ever major stream of Routine. This is the indie horror game that apparently was in development hell for like 10 years or more. It's about being on the moon, and everyone seems to be either dead or missing, and you don't know why, and so you're trying to figure that out. Well, tonight, the game really picked it up a notch, okay? Now we have enemies chasing us. Now we're getting a storyline of horror where apparently people are being affected by some kind of headaches and or an illness, and robots are trying to kill you. So, very reminiscent of the gameplay of, say, Alien Isolation, I would say. Spooky vibes, creepy graphics, great sound design, like me with these surround sound headphones. Wow. The sound design is actually like outstanding right now with hearing things coming from different directions and everything.
Okay, no one cares. All right, by the way, just to let you know, he barely hit the goal. Again, clear sign that you can tell he arranged support. He arranged someone to come in and draw. I think he got a $50 tip or something from someone, some anonymous den or whatever, just to get him to hit the goal. Yeah, give this playthrough another 1 or 2 more times, and he's going to wage quit it because it's just not getting any money. That's clearly Phil's pattern. That's what's going to happen here. No one really cares about. He literally had 140 people watching his stream yesterday. 140 people watching Claire Expedition. 140 people, man. I mean, I can go on the YouTube live and pull up just a random, tarot card reader that looks like they live in a van, and they have more viewers watching them than Phil does. That's how pathetic it is.
It's absolutely exceptional, kind of really creepy. It's a mixed bag for the audience. Some people really liked it. Some people are hating it. Some people are saying it's not scary, it's boring. Others are like, oh yeah, if you like that Alien Isolation kind of game, it's scary. So I do think that it has an audience. It's definitely not everyone. The stream overall did fine. It was pretty good support, pretty decent attendance. I don't have any complaints. And the game is short. It's only about 6 hours long, and we're out 3 in.
Okay, he's talking about last night's game, whatever that last night game is, which I didn't even bother watching. But what did he get? $120? $120. Dude, if that game wasn't short, he would wage quit that game as well. Again, this is DSP's life in a nutshell. Wage quitting games and ordering DoorDash and begging. That's essentially what it is. Even with the Asthma Gold bump that, of course, died weeks ago. He's just back again. He is, if you've had any doubt, he's back to pre-Kino Casino days of just sitting there and begging and stressing over money and hitting goals. That's what it is. He doesn't have a goal, but let's make sure that we hit my goal, right, Phil?
And now, so probably 2 more streams, and
no one cares.
this week on a late stream.
No one cares.
And then I was going to do a stream of the game. Okay, we've been trying to do this for a week. I told you it was supposed to arrive the middle of last week, but it keeps getting pushed back and delayed. They said they were going to deliver that package by 9 p.m. tonight. It's now 10:30. So what I'm going to guess...
Idiot. Your whole area is deluged with flooding. They've probably canceled deliveries for the whole day and probably tomorrow as well. Again, it astounds me how dented this man is. Really just dented. And all he cares about is himself. He doesn't care about anyone else. He doesn't think about he would just sit there and be like, "Oh, I don't care. I don't care if people drown. I want my package. I need my package right now. And I don't care what you have to do. Get out and deliver my package. I don't care if you get into an accident. It doesn't bother me. That's not my problem. You have insurance. Figure it out." Again, man, just so selfish. And again, once DoorDash drivers to risk their lives to get swept up in a current, right? Just to deliver him food. He's just so selfish, man. So selfish. And again, the funny thing was, he wasn't upset about Kat being late or not being there, potentially drowning. What he's worried about is that Soul Mom probably wasn't going to be around. DoorDash wasn't going to be around to deliver his food, so he wasn't going to be able to eat Din Din. That was what he was worried about. He was worried about not being able to eat Din Din. Good God, man, you're such a pathetic-ass person, Phil. Pathetic. And again, I have to say this again. This is just more confirmation that Kat's gone. Kat's not there. A normal person doesn't behave this way. I don't care what you say. A normal person in a relationship, regardless of what relationship it is, doesn't act this way. All right, guys, I'm done. He's just going to complain about whatever else. Who cares? Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.